Good morning, mathematicians. Good morning, good morning. Off to a late start today. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Hey, where's my live stream? There we go. What are we going to do? We're going to look at the end of this paper. And will we go and read it in detail together? I don't know. I should probably go through some of the proofs in detail by myself, but that's maybe a more boring thing for me to do on my own later. You know what I mean? I mean, boring for you guys. It'll be fun for me. Unless you guys like sitting around while I'm completely silent and my brain is working. Or I call it working. I think we were down at this lemma, right? What did we do? We looked at... yeah, I think we were just looking at this theorem briefly and making note of the application of the Kasdan-Lustig hypothesis. I'm going to keep this office hour short, I think, probably 30 minutes or less, because then I'm going to go, I think I just need to write my abstract. I'm going to put something on the archive. And then, oh my god, it's the 10th. I need to apply to some jobs I'm applying to. And I need to prepare some talks I said I was going to give. Oh my god. One of the talks is an overview of Lie theory in a seminar I'm participating in. And so I might turn that into a video. You know, talk about Lie groups, Lie algebras, GK modules maybe. Maybe. Just sort of an overview of key ideas and theorems. Suppose that we got a representation associated to here. Then pi is Hermitian if and only if there exists an element of the Weil group fixing the levy and the tempered, but swapping the exponent. That's interesting. BM89. Let's go look at that. Barbash-Moy 89. A unitary criterion for p-adic groups. Let's open up this paper. That's a fun concept for a video, which the overview of Lie blah blah blah. Or what? Maybe in the next one, what's my education background after high school? Oh, yeah. Well, I did a bachelor's and a master's, and I now have, and I will soon have a PhD. Currently doing a PhD. That's my education background. Cool. Well, I'm glad that you like the idea, Arad, because it is probably gonna happen. Yeah. Access full text. Let's see. I just want to get a sense of what's going on in this paper. Split reductive group with connected center over p-adic field. Oh, are we split in this case? I thought we were only quasi-split. Oh, but maybe section 5.1 extends this to quasi-split. Godspeed, yeah, thanks. Why choose math? I didn't really. I just like it. Yes, it is hard. And sometimes I think I should have done something else that was both easier and made more money. But I'm just addicted to math. That's the truth. That's the truth of what it is. Sometimes, every once in a while, I'm like, hey, I'm going to teach myself some statistics so I can go get rich being a quant. And I sit down, and then all of a sudden, you know, an hour goes by, and I'm reading about, like, deep measure theory stuff. And it's like, I just love the abstract useless theory. I don't know why. It's an uncontrollable urge. What can I say? Lie theory is a great clickbait title too. Yes, and I could probably put like the E8 lattice picture on there, or yeah, overview of Lie theory. Yeah, something like that. Well, I'm glad you like the live stream, Jord Bear. You're trying to get motivated to keep reading and have in mind research until you find your postdoc. Oh, are we? We're both on the market right now. Then, may the battle begin. May the battle begin. String math, as in like the mathematics related to string theory, like homological mirror symmetry or something like that. My projection is PhD to crackpot, then become the next Einstein or Hilbert after 20 years. Interesting. Huh. I don't think anyone's ever done that. I don't think anyone has ever gone from crackpot to non-crackpot. That's typically a one-way street. But then to also go from PhD to crackpot and come back, that is extra unheard of. So I wouldn't be so upset about if that was my arc, because that would be, people would be like, who is this guy? I have thought about using my math powers to become a shill and just like sell dumb bullshit and made up nonsense. That sounds cool. You earned intuition from algebraic geometry from Lie theory stuff. That seems strange. The differential geometry part, that's very normal in my opinion and good. You're now taking complex, which is a blessing, which is actually your actual background, from which you gain more intuition. You just need more time. Well, don't we all? Came across an abstract game that seems unexplored. We're studying formally, or am I entering crank territory? Well, there's a whole bunch of abstract games that are, like game theory and combinatorics. They study all sorts of games, Nim, Go, chess, I think checkers is solved. I think Connect 4 is solved. Although I don't know if it's solved on an arbitrary board. Yeah. So people definitely publish games. Hey, I made a short about there's a paper that, proves that Magic the Gathering is Turing complete. Yeah, should I keep reading? I feel like another paper I kind of want to read through after this. It's maybe slightly older now. Hello, Thomas. But there's this paper by David Rowe on the inverse on the inverse Galois problem for p-adic fields, and he gives you like basically I think like an algorithm to construct all the fields with a given Galois group, I think. Something like that. So maybe that's a paper worth going through. But I know we promised spectral sequences at one point. Yeah, it's not the crankery. Crankery, it's not the what, it's the how. Yeah. Second lemma gives us sufficient. Where are we here? Infinite grid Minesweeper is Turing complete. That's insane. How is that possible? Or can you choose the numbers? Can you choose the numbers? No, I guess you wouldn't have to, right? Because you could... I guess you could just go until you get a certain number. And, like, if you know, that's a 1 on a corner, like, that has to be a mine or something. Yeah, I don't know. Is there a paper, Thomas, proving that? Because that seems wild to me. It seems like there's too much of an element of chance. Unless you assume, okay, maybe on the infinite grid, like every finite configuration happens with probability 1. But then that still means... But then that's confusing if we start talking about that. This section, unintentional Turing completeness. What the hell? We can just control F. Infinite grid Minesweeper. Huh. Archived from the original PDF. Oh, I don't know why I expected that to... By Richard K. Uh-huh. Interesting. Is this published somewhere? The starting point of this paper is my article. Okay. Which shows that, NP wait, Turing complete? Yeah, Turing complete, wow. The proof was a mistake, my brain's not working, coffee. I'm also distracted, there's like a little something in my tooth and I kind of want to go get it out with some floss, But we streaming now, baby. At your university, you see undergrads reading archive papers during lectures, which are about differential geometry. You started to sit away from them just not to feel bad while you struggle in the lecture unrelated to the papers. You should sit closer to them so that their brain waves, you absorb their brain waves. And you should find out what paper you're reading with them and then go read it with them and make friends and learn more. How about that? Yeah. Something that I probably should have done more in my life is try and latch on to the really smart people. I mean, I get it. You feel bad when there's like a really... I get feeling bad when there's a really smart person, but it's like just rip that Band-Aid off and learn from them. Grab onto their coattails and hang on for dear life. And then that way you'll learn more. The proof was by making suitable Minesweeper configurations simulate digital computers with logic gates. Huh. Please see just about any textbook on these. I mean, yeah. Games like Life and Minesweeper played on a grid, each space with a grid labeled and most finitely many symbols. Such games played on a finite grid will typically be computable by laboriously checking all possible combinations. So Minesweeper and Life are normally on infinite grids with an adjacency relation. The main feature of Minesweeper is that knowledge of a symbol in one square gives particular information about the number of each kind of symbol in the 8 neighboring squares without providing any direct information about which squares contain what, and it is a feature of the Minesweeper game I wish to preserve in the infinite versions I cover. You already tried that, and they use fancy words. Yeah, I mean, they could just be, hello, Blades. Yeah, they could just be trying to feed their own ego. That's true, too. Yeah. So, well, if you gave it a shot, and it seems like they're just trying to feed their own ego instead of being understood, then, yeah. In that case, pay attention in class and do the learning that works for you. You're never going to lectures because you can never find any value in it, except for the small graduate level courses, which are 5 to 6 people. Yeah. Hey, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, part of the value of having class time, though, is it's like a dedicated time that forces you to study it then. But I do think you're right. Like, I don't know, if I think back on it, like, I mean, the truth is, in any course, you don't do most of your learning in the classroom. You do most of your learning in the homework. Yeah. But there is, my research group started watching through these YouTube videos from Jordy Williamson on D modules. And I wasn't going to pay attention to the first couple ones because I was stupidly maybe had something of a, ego, maybe not. But I was like, well, I've got all these other things I need to do and get done today. And like, I know the basic definitions of D modules. And sure enough, a lot of it was like things I already knew, but there was still an interesting perspective, and I've I've looked at a whole bunch of different D modules, texts, and notes over the internet, and there's just a really nice way of explaining the operations on this one D module in the first lecture that I hadn't seen before, is the D module for the square root sheaf. And it was just really cool. So I don't know. Sometimes when you go to these things, there's these extra stuff. Yes, and actually, Jord Bear. Yeah, or is it Jord Bear? I'm guessing because of the AE there, it makes me think that maybe it's a Jord Bear. Jord Bear. But yes, this is probably the most key thing. What you're seeing here, your only regret is not having connections with the students and prof. That is a huge one. Yeah, going in person makes it makes a big difference. It is Jord. Okay. I said it wrong a few times, but I sussed it out eventually. Yeah, that is an absolute huge one, though. The connections that you make in this world are literally everything. It's literally everything. Merit will take you so far, but yeah, at the end of the day, you need to know people. Danish. Okay. Can we see my thesis? Yes. Yes. Well, the main paper for my thesis, I'm gonna try and put online like in soon. Well, I'm gonna try and put it to the archive today, and then that means it'll come out in the next couple days. And we'll definitely be looking at it on stream. It's not quite my like official thesis, but it's like basically my thesis is just going to be that paper, and then I add some extra words in and maybe combine it with my last preprint. So, absolutely. The feel of being comfortable to ask any questions is very rare. Yeah. You can count with your fingers the number of courses you felt like this. I guess I've been blessed with the ability to not be too afraid to make a fool of myself asking questions. Not that I do always ask questions, not that I'm always great at it, but, thinking back, especially in my undergrad, I really approached a lot of profs with some very stupid questions, and I think I'm better for it. And look at me now. I make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. In fact, today I'm putting out a 2-hour video, and there's a big chunk where I make a very basic mistake in it. I think I labeled that section where I make a mistake. And it's very silly of me, and I decided to put it on the internet forever and even highlight the section where I made the mistake. So this is part of the process, yo. Which is the paper I feel most proud about? I don't know. I don't have that. I don't have that many papers. I don't know. I can tell you there's a result that I feel the most proud about, but I don't quite want to tell you what that result is yet. And it's a funny thing. It's a complicated thing. It's this idea that I have for a paper in graph theory, but I don't know if I have enough substance yet there to actually make it worth publishing. But there is this one result that I obtain that is really cute, in my opinion. And I really love it because I sort of came up with the problem myself, and I struggled to find the solution for a very long time. And then I finally, I don't know, by chance, I came up with a solution to the problem that I really like, that I think is really slick. But that's not in any of my things that are published. I don't know. This one coming up is one that's like on my own, but it's also, I don't know. It's not that much new stuff added to the world. Okay, the last preprint has more new stuff added to the world, and I contributed some original ideas, but it's also like with 3 other authors, which is fine. I love working together, but yeah, I don't know. And then there's my undergrad paper, which also really fun and cool, but I don't know. I mean, I like these things, obviously, and I put them into the world because I thought it was worth putting into the world. But I don't know. It's not like I have a deep excitement about like, oh, I can't wait to tell people I did this. You know what I mean? Not in the same way of this cute little result, but then the funny paradox is the things with all of these other papers. These are published things, and things like Langland's. It's like, oh, people really care about that stuff. And then my silly little result is something that is not something that people, I'm not sure, even care about because it's some problem that I came up with, in graph theory, and that I'm just hoping can be related to other problems people care about. And yet somehow, to me, that little thing is what means the most. So it's weird. Hello, G Mozzie. What is my research about? It's about this stuff. It's about local Langlands. We'll get into the details, like I said, soon. I've never competed. Oh, that's not true. I have competed in Putnam, and I basically got nothing every time. No, I think maybe one year I got a non-zero number of points. I don't remember, or maybe not. Maybe they were all zero. I don't actually remember. I did it a few years, and most of the years I got zero. I also didn't really prepare very much, but that's no excuse. Every couple of months, you go back to your discrete math proofs. Discrete math prof's PhD thesis and see if it makes any more sense. That's a good thing to do. Yeah. Okay, we've hardly talked about this paper at all today, but let's look over it in these last couple minutes here, and then I gotta go do my own math. Suppose we got a parabolic pi, an irreducible representation of M. I is an unbounded connected subset of the space of characters. Interesting. We identify each S in I with a positive real valued character via this identification. Suppose that for any S in I, the induced representation is irreducible and Hermitian. Then pi S is non-unitary for every S in I. Wow. That is an interesting result. It's interesting that it's like about this region. It's about this region, and it's like if you can say something about everything in this entire region, it implies that's interesting because like somehow the S's, there's some locality of S's somehow going on. Interesting. I feel like it'd be useful to draw a picture of this in the GL2 case or something. You think that's the most words in a row you've recognized on the stream? Hell yeah. Yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll draw a picture. We should go back to our I wrote down some of the unitary representations for GL2. I wrote down some of the unitary representations for GL2, but we could map all of them out because they'll all depend on a pair of numbers. So we could draw a picture. We could draw a picture of all the representations. Actually, we could draw a picture of all the representations anyways. But okay, if anyone joins me, if I forget that this was my game plan tomorrow, and you guys are with me in the morning, let me know. Actually, I might be going on a hike, but I haven't heard back from the person who's organizing the hike about when we're going. That person's my supervisor, by the way. So a research group hike. Yeah. So maybe I'll make a post in the morning. Might have to do, might skip office hours tomorrow and come back on Sunday. Unlikely I'll manage to do an evening one tomorrow if I don't do the morning, but I mean, you never know. I've done it before. So we suppose that this set is non-empty. Pi is Hermitian, write that. Choose a vowel group element such that by lemma 3.7. And suppose the set is non-empty. We'll show in this case that pi cannot be unitary. For S bigger than 0. Wait, have we chosen a domain I? I guess that's implicit in the assumption of the theorem. If it's bigger than 0, this should be true. So define this infinitesimal character, take the levy it determines for lambda s, and it follows that this is independent of s for any s greater than 0. Okay. Then there exists an irreducible representation in here, which hits pi when you induce. So regard this as an unramified character and consider this representation. Then the Levy subgroup is contained in here, as we've seen. So we can restrict this to a character of m. And we claim that the following holds. So that this is the Langlands data, that this induced is irreducible, and Hermitian. These claims imply that pi s is non-unitary? Is that because of like, wait, let's I forget what 3.8 says. Wait, aren't we proving 3.8? No, wait a second. We're proving 3.1 right now. Oh, this is FPP. Oh, I maybe should have. Wait, where's this? We begin with two simple lemmas. The second lemma gives us sufficient condition. Oh, it's a consequence of p-adic combined with another result of p-adic. Okay. Gotcha. I see. So this is the proof of the main result. Then the irreducibility implies this. Exactness of parabolic induction. Yeah, I should read the details. Later. Okay, that was a proof of the main theorem. That's basically the paper. Okay. So that just about does it then. But we will have a little gander at this example the next stream, whether that's tomorrow or Sunday. And I will draw some pictures of the representations of GL2, and we'll look at that as well. So that'll do it for today. Time to go prove some stuff about unitary representations. I mean, for you guys, I need to get my my paper up, and then maybe I'll prove some things about unitary representations. How cooked is cohomology? It's not. It's literally just figuring out if a function is surjective or not. That's my takeaway. I have a couple of videos on cohomology. If you look at my channel, there's like 2 5-minute videos that's like, what is homology? Yeah. I mean, of course the technical, don't get me wrong, the technical details can get a little complicated, but it's really not that bad. Yeah. Anywho, tootaloo, as they say, and QED.